Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. We are on Love 99.5 FM. Affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We are on Nkigli FM in Bole. We are on Bewa Radio in Yendi, KTU Radio in Kofu Radio, Sky FM in Sunyai, and Bishara Radio in Tamale. We are also live on X Spaces. We are on Facebook. You are myjoyonline.com. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrol Sol. Your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Sol is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with a level indicator. Where Duraplus goes, water always flows. This afternoon, fears of another shutdown of the Kolebu Renal unit as the facility piles up another 2 million cedi debt, a similar situation which forced it to shut down last year for close to 4 months.
We are under recovering by as much as almost 400 Ghana cedis. So as we speak today, all the patients are on dialysis today. Every session that we have, we are under recovery in terms of the cost. So we are still building a debt. You see, what you need to do is multiply that's the view. That is, I've been seeing the millions. I'm sure by now to be over 2 million.
We'll hear from some kidney patients who are resisting any increment in the fees for dialysis services. Also this afternoon, imminent ministerial reshuffle. As Joy News sources say, leadership in Parliament could also see major changes. But who is going where? We have details also.
Oh, it was a Kufuado who misled you and mismanaged affairs. I will be different. Even though I am MPP, I'm still under the Oslo's sign. I'm different. And the people of Ghana will be that gullible. No.
NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia sparks criticism for appearing to distance himself from the Akufo-Addo legacy, but in the business community, some members are praising him for his vision for the sector.
I'm overly excited. This is exactly what I wanted to hear, and I heard it. It means that they have been listening to whatever pleas that we have been doing.
Laudable idea with a lot of energy.
Also in this package, we'll take you live to the TUC head office where organized labor is deliberating on a government decision to suspend the 15% VAT on electricity tariffs.
We call for a total withdrawal of the letter. The letter that the government issued is talked about suspension. Well, a meeting is been called for at the TUC hall.
We had there live for you. Also, senior staff and will call off the action for some weeks now. We'll give you details of that. We have sports.
Nigeria and Ivory Coast will battle for 2023 AFCON glory in a final, which magnifies Ghana's long-standing title drought.
And minority in parliament warns foreign investors to back off from any purchasing of Airtel Tigo without the appropriate parliamentary ratification.
Well, we want to use this opportunity to serve notice to any foreign investor that they must be very careful of signing any deals. Because if they think that they are buying any asset that belongs to the Ghanaian people without the proper parliamentary approval.
That and more in the Midday News. I am Emefa. Apawu, this is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please do stay on for details. We'll start off on the health front, and the renal dialysis unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is once again facing crises as it accumulates 2 million cedi debt just 3 months after government settled the debt of 4 million cedis. The unit was forced to shut down last year, sparking public outcry as dialysis patients faced an uncertain end to their lives. But Chief Executive of the hospital, Dr. Opoku-Aware Ampoma, says Parliament's delay in approving new fees and charges has put in the renal unit in a very precarious situation. There's more in the following report by my colleague Prince Kudoga of our health desk. Where to you.
Very common emotions last year as the renal unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital was shut down due to an accumulation of debt in excess of 4 million Ghana cedis.
Because at the moment we are sitting in a 4 million cedi hole. If we are to operate at our current capacity, which is about 2,000 dialysis sessions every month, then it means that we are going to accumulate about 961,000 cedis of debt every month.
The hospital was forced to reverse an increment in its dialysis charges imposed last year without recourse to Parliament. The patients said the high cost of treatment makes it difficult for them to follow the prescribed sessions.
You are becoming a burden to the society. You pick a phone, you want to call your friend.
he knows you are coming to ask for money, so you will not even pick. Or maybe you want even to say hello, maybe there's an information you are trying to ask him, he will not even answer it. Later on, he will call back and say, oh, I saw.
We are under recovering by as much as almost 400 Ghana cedis. So as we speak today, all the patients that are on dialysis today, every session that we have, we are under recovery in terms of the cost. So we are still building a debt. You see, what you need to do is multiply that's the view. That is, I've been seeing the millions, I'm sure by now to be over 2 million.
Well, that's a health desk report put together by my colleague Prince Kudoga. Let me bring in the Director of Medical Affairs at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Owusu Setre. Thankfully, we also have Bafo Kojo-Ahenkra, President of the Renal Patients Association of Ghana. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on the Midday News. Let me start with you, Bafo Kojo-Ahenkra. Really, let's talk about the state of affairs at the renal unit right now, because you are patient, you bear the brunt.
Yeah, hello, please, can you speak up? I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me, Mr. Ahenkra?
Yes. Can you speak up a little bit?
Is it much better now, Mr. Ahenkra? So I'm asking about the state of affairs at the renal unit as we speak, since you are patient and you're bearing the brunt.
Oh, currently, the unit is operational. We are getting our normal sessions at the price that they said we should pay. That's the 380. So currently, as we speak, I just finished my session. Everything is on course. We are having our sessions regular. No challenges there and there, but I think for now, so far, so good.
Well, but we're told that it appears that patients are resisting the new fees that Kolebu would want you to pay so that the system can continue to run, or the facility can continue to run. Because as it stands now, we are told that they are piling up debts again, which could lead to a shutdown.
You see, that debate came up when the place was locked down. I quite remember the CEO made us understood that if they are going to go by this tangent, the 380, they will need about 900 and something to be the additional money that they will be. And then I think that proposal, it was sent to Parliament for them to either they have to come and subsidize on that one so that we can pay the 380 and then they will take up the rest. But as to how far that thing went, I'm not aware of that. And the point is, my dear, if they take even the 380, it's very difficult for patients to pay. As I'm talking to you now, I have a patient. I want to bring him to Joy, your studios, that you interview her. She can't pay. Her name is Mufidatu. She can't pay. When you see her face, you marvel. So if there are any plans for them to maybe increase it or whatever, there should be government intervention.
Okay.
If not that, we can't pay the money they want, the 760 they want to bring. We can't pay.
Okay. Well, Bafo, I will leave it here. We are grateful, but thankfully the Director of Medical Affairs is still with me, Dr. Owusu Setre. Dr. Owusu Setre, thank you so much for joining us. So as we speak, we are told about another accumulation of 2 million cedi debt for the facility. How is that so?
Well, I think the issue of dialysis is well known, especially pertaining to Kolebu. The fact that it is a chronic thing, you need to be on it before you can go about your normal things if your kidneys have shut down. We are also privy to the fact that the cost of Kolebu Teaching Hospital performing one dialysis session is well over 720 cedis, and patients are paying 380 cedis. So there is a difference of about 380 or 400 cedis that needs to be looked at. I think that is what led to the shutdown initially. Then we got a consignment, and there was a huge discussion about it. There was a bill of 4 million cedis that had been accumulated because of exchange rates, and then other things that happened, which has been cleared. But the fact remains that we still haven't tackled the difference in the cost. So people are still having dialysis. I believe the one you spoke to, who just finished, might just have paid 380.
Yes, so he mentioned.
And there is a 380 or 400 cedis bill that needs to be looked at. So if you look at it since we opened, we're giving dialysis at that rate. So now, I don't think it is strange to know that we have accumulated about another 200 million bill.
But there are concerns also about the facility and the arrangements that you've made in terms of contracts signed, which is actually not inuring to the benefit of the facility in itself. How do we speak to those?
The thing is that when you have your own money to do things, you can call the shots. If you don't have money and you still need to offer the service by going into contracts, then some of these things will come up. I think a lot of discussion have gone on with regards to that contract bit. And I believe we can go in and out, and it's still not going to change the fact that there's a bill of 380 cedis per each session of dialysis that needs to be looked at. Until the contract runs out, or until we buy ourselves out of it, which we have looked at, we don't think it is in our interest because of the cost implication.
But
we
where
will
are
have
we?
to
Where are
look
we,
at
Dr.
where
Session?
to be able to at least continue to offer services without interruption.
Okay. And I know you were pushing for parliamentary approval of new fees and charges. Where are we with that push?
We have made our case to Parliament. I know they also have to go through their own systems and then processes to be able to approve of it. I think if there is any pressure that could be brought to bear, it could be directed at Parliament so that we look at the cost realistically. And more importantly, to also look at alternative ways of funding dialysis.
Well, we'll leave it here for now and still monitor the situation. That's the Director of Medical Affairs at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Owusu Setre, there on the situation at the renal dialysis unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And we're told about the accumulation of another 2 million CD debt just 3 months after government settled that debt of 4 million CDs, and concerns are being raised about another shutdown of the facility. Let's hit the labor front now, and I'll take you to TUC shortly, the headquarters of TUC. Where organized labor is currently deliberating on whether to call off the intended action on February 13 following the suspension of that 15% VAT on electricity announced by the Finance Ministry. I'll take you there shortly. But also the Senior Staff Association and Apawu, we know that they've been on strike for some time now over their Tier 2 pensions, and we're told they've suspended the action. But let's get that confirmation from Mr. Isaac Donko. He leads the Senior Staff Association. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So what's really the status of that industrial action? Hello, Mr. Donko.
Hello.
Mr. Donko, if you can hear me, I'm asking about the state of your industrial action.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Yes, the strike for now has been suspended, pending further engagement with government. The reason for the suspension is that Minister of Finance engaged us. They presented their position to us. They made us aware that the children, especially the basic school children on various university campuses, are suffering. Some of the university students are also sick because the university hospitals are all shut down. The university basic schools has been shut down, and the children are not going to school for the past 3 weeks. So for the sake of the children and the students, we decided to temper justice with mercy. So we asked the government to pay the outstanding arrears from from April to December, of which government has paid. There are overtime allowance, which was also cancelled. We made them to restore. It has been restored. Now it's left with the payment of the penalty or the interest. So we are going to engage them on the modality of payment going forward. So that is that.
Okay. Mr. Donko, we'll leave it here and interrogate this issue further. And you heard him, that industrial action by the Senior Staff Association of Public Universities and TEU have essentially been called off pending their negotiations with government. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks now. But let's go to live to the TUC headquarters, and my colleague Blessed Suga is there for us, joining us on the line. Blessed, what do we know? Are we demonstrating on February 13 or not?
Well, the Trade Union Congress has called off the planned industrial action. They explained that they gave a pre-test ahead of this demonstration, which was scheduled for the 16th of this month. The condition was that there should be a total reversal of the policy. Now, the Secretary General of the TUC has just announced that there's an official communication to the labor unions indicating government's position on the matter. Based on this, they are holding on and calling off the planned demonstrations for now, based on the official communication coming through from government.
Well, Blessed, but the contention for Labour, as at last night, was the fact the use of the word suspension. They were asking for a total withdrawal. Is it the case that the communication to them from government now talks about a complete withdrawal?
We don't have any clear details on what is communicated to the unions, details. But then what we are getting from the leadership of the group is that it appears they are satisfied with what it is that government has communicated to them. And prior to holding this conference, there was a brief meeting amongst leadership of the group. So far, there's no obvious objection to the collective position they are taking, and that's why they are going ahead to call off the planned demonstration.
Well, that's my colleague Blessed Suga there giving us updates on that press conference organized Labour, I should say, at the TUC headquarters. And it's an afternoon of call-offs and that intended massive demonstration in the 16 regions of the country has just been called off by organized Labour over the 15% implementation of VAT on electricity. Now, let's do some other stories. And joining us is learning of an imminent ministerial reshuffle set to be announced by the president. A meeting held this morning at the Jubilee House concluded on the names. Presidential Affairs correspondent Elton Brobe joins me in studio with what we are learning. Elton, let's talk about this meeting.
Right. So, Emefa, we are told that President Akufo-Addo came in last night, and from last night up to this morning, they've been holding meetings on this very thorny matter, and they finally came to a decision on the way forward about an hour ago. So what we are picking that on Sunday, there will be a formal announcement to this effect, and the reshuffle will announce who is going where and who is leaving government.
Okay. Which areas are to be affected by this reshuffle? Just ministers, or we have other areas as well?
So what we are picking that this is going to be a holistic reshuffle. So we have people who are serving in cabinet, people who are not cabinet ministers are serving as ministers of state. The reshuffle will affect such individuals as well. There's also going to be leadership change in parliament as well. So you have the leadership of parliament likely to witness some changes, and then also the chief executive officers of state-owned enterprises were also in office. Some will also be asked to go. The reason being that some contested in the parliamentary primaries of the MPP and won, and therefore there is the decision that people who contested and won and are serving in government, you have the opportunity to really campaign ahead of the elections in 2024, and for that reason they should give way to allow people who are focused on the job to be on. So you're going to have leadership changes in parliament. We're going to have state-owned enterprises CEOs likely to be affected by this reshuffle, and of course ministers of state. But what is instructive to note here is that we are told, because the MPP has a new candidate going to the 2024 election, this reshuffle reflects the vice president, the MPP flag bearer, his aspiration going to the 2024 election, and for that reason, we are likely to see new faces come in government. Well? Exactly, you are going to see new faces come in government as well, and also on the part of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he's also likely to announce his campaign team this weekend. So those who are serving in government and will have a role to play in the campaign will no longer serve in government. That is the information we are picking.
Elton, I know you are not like Winston Amwa. Do you have some names for us, please?
Well, for now, I mean, they are keeping it close to their chest. We know, for example, names we are picking, like the current majority leader, likely to step down from the role as majority leader. And then that is the change. Now we're told that he's being considered for Minister of Foreign Affairs. We are told that Kwadwo Oponkuma is not likely to continue as Information Minister. We are hearing of Minister of Youth and Sports and some other names but we are told that on Sunday there was going to be a comprehensive news release from the Jubilee House detailing why this is important and why some people will leave the government.
Now you know why you have to stay with me on The Probe Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for more on this. Thank you very much, Elton Brobe there, giving us updates on what is to come. Now, following his maiden address as the NPP flag bearer, Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia has faced considerable backlash for seemingly dissociating himself from President Akufo-Addo's legacy. Now, during his nearly 3-hour speech, Bawumia emphasized his role as an advisor within the government, sparking criticism for appearing to downplay his connection to the Akufo-Addo administration.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was thankfully appointed as chairman of the economic management team, as a subcommittee to cabinet We do not have any decision-making powers, but I am very proud of the quality of advice we have been providing over the years to Cabinet. As Vice President, I was asked by the President to assist in solving some of the problems that were inhibiting the transformation of Ghana's economy.
Well, so that's a flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We've heard from the minority, we've heard from former President John Dramani Mahama. They've all been reacting to the speech and wondering why the flag bearer of the NPP is distancing himself from the current administration. But this is what President Akufo-Addo said some time back.
I don't see what we gain by attacking the record of our own government. When you do that, then you become then party candidate. What are you going to tell the people of Ghana? Oh, it was Akufo-Addo who misled you and mismanaged affairs. I will be different, even though I am MPP. I'm still under the Oslo's sign. I'm different. And the people of Ghana will be that gullible. No. Let's be serious. So the question is, I think that if we're talking about the record of the government, my understanding is that every MPP person, communicator, or whoever you are, who is a supporter of the party, it's your duty to try and defend that record and make sure that the people of Ghana buy into that record. Because at the end of the day, once this presidential primary is over, that is going to be the issue before the country.
So that's President Akufo-Addo in August last year. But meanwhile, we've been hearing from the business community. They've actually bought into the vision of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obing, says his ideas would help the business community.
I'm overly excited. This is exactly what I wanted to hear, and I heard it. It means that they have been listening to whatever pleas that we have been doing. The communication that we do with you on TV and all that is being listened to. And of course, it's all about he adopting compliance as a tool of revenue collection in his administration. And that is going to simplify tax collection system. That's why he's talking about flat rate, and that he's going to even make duty payment flat rated.
Well, President of the AGI, Imdake, insists on clarity of his ideas for the sector.
Mr. Vice President, this is our concern. What do you seek to do about it? We have a lot, by virtue of that VAT computation, it makes us uncompetitive. And once it makes you uncompetitive, your other competitors who are of other jurisdiction and seeking that you are practicing a liberalized economy, import and smuggle goods through the borders. And he realized that he captured it in his speech that I'll tackle smuggling. How would he tackle it? That is what we want to find out in his manifesto. How does he seek to do the VAT computation and flat rate? Laudable idea with a lot of energy.
You want more clarity on
of course, this
tax measures that he's announced.
The visions are all intentions.
Yeah. Well, that's Humphrey Eyimdake there speaking to George Riafi on PM Express Business Edition, available on all our social media platforms. Wrapping up on this, though, we can hear from the communications officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, expressing empathy towards President Akufo-Addo.
When Akufo-Addo was giving you credit in his 2018 SONA for transforming the economy, you were happy, applauding, smiling. Go and watch the video. Today, the economy is in a state of comatose. So you want Akufo-Addo to take all the blame for the mess? When you have the direct responsibility for managing the economy, the finance minister is under you. He's a member of the EMC.
I mean, Sami, just a second, Sami. Did I just hear you defend the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo?
Not defend, no, but now Akufo-Addo is looking like a lonely old man. I'm just feeling pity for him.
Let's take a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM, affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We are on X Spaces, Facebook, My Joy Online. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, where Duraplus goes, water always flows. We'll come back with sports, and then Minority in Parliament are warning foreign investors to back off from any purchasing of Airtel Tigo without the appropriate parliamentary ratification. Do stay with us.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
GoTV is stepping up your entertainment from the 15th of January at no extra cost to you. If you are on GoTV Value, upgrade to GoTV Plus to watch GoTV Max. Already on GoTV Plus? Upgrade to GoTV Max to enjoy GoTV Super. And if you are on GoTV Max, upgrade to GoTV Super to enjoy the best of the best on GoTV Super Plus. Don't wait. Step up your entertainment today. It's on us. GoTV. Love it. T's and C's apply.
This is the Midday News. It's time for sports.
Yes, Emefa. We've got a big game this weekend on Sunday. It's host nation Ivory Coast. They take on Nigeria in the final of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. However, for Ghana, this event highlights the country's extended wait for a trophy. When the Black Stars last secured their 4th trophy, Nigeria had 1 title and Ivory Coast had not won any. Now, 42 years later, the Super Eagles are aiming for their 4th title, while the Elephants are hoping for their 3rd. Now, Football Administrator Neil Armstrong-Mortadby calls on the Ghana FA to undertake a strategic overhaul to end the trophy drought.
The medium to long-term view is getting back to the basics of having a certain stock of youngsters playing at various levels who can feed into the national team. I look at the example of this player called Adengra in the Cote d'Ivoire team. He's 21 years old, but he also came through their ranks. So it's not like Ghana hasn't done this before. I think that we're going back to where we've been before in terms of our youth system. And the hope is that the transitions will be managed as they were managed before and get us the best quality of talent coming through to feed our national teams at the senior levels. With that in place, we should be happier going forward.
Of course, there will be a profound analysis on the Black Stars on game plan at 1:15 p.m.
And that demonstration coming up on February 14th to
14th.
save Ghana football.
Exactly.
We're looking forward to that. Mubarak, thank you. Now, minority in parliament say foreign investors should back off any potential takeover of Airtel Tigo without the requisite parliamentary approval. The minority contends that any takeover of Airtel Tigo with foreign investors will be an international agreement subject to parliament's oversight. We can hear from Deputy Ranking Member on the Communications Committee, Sam George.
Well, we want to use this opportunity to serve notice to any foreign investor that they must be very careful of signing any deals.
Let me bring in Parliamentary Affairs correspondent and touch base with what's happening in Parliament. Kweku, what can you tell us?
For the House had to adjourn quite early today because the NDC MPs are going for the caucus workshop. And so just around midday, the House had taken an adjournment. But the attendance in the House today was so poor outside about the time the House started sitting. There were not more than 15 MPs in the chamber. And so eventually the House had to take an adjournment for this NDC MPs workshop.
Well, that's a Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, a quick question. You want to join him much later at 6 p.m. for Ghana Connect. Now, MNJ, it's time. MNJ. What's up, Jackie?
But Maxwell says hi once again. He misses you all.
You should hurry up and come back.
But well, there's a lot trending. And Black Sherif has a new song out titled Zero. And Jackie also has a song out. So
Jackie?
Very own. No, not me, but Jackie. Yeah, she has a song out. And also, there's a Ghanaian chef trending. He's embarked on a cookathon. He's been cooking for 9 days.
Hey.
Yes, 9 days. But you know the interesting part? He intends to end on 6th March.
Independence Day.
Yes. That's like more than a month of cooking.
Why?
It's currently happening at Spencer's. So,
I think we should start gathering there.
Yes, but the problem is a lot of people haven't been going there. It hasn't really garnered a lot of support like other previous record-breaking attempts.
Because you haven't made noise about it.
Yes, but now we are right here making noise about it. But yesterday was also exactly 6 years that Ebony passed away. So people on social media have been sharing their fond memories of her and stuff that they were doing the day that she passed away. So let's listen to this song.
From the bottom, last bit, you raise me up. See all the bad things I did, oh, you still did bless me. And now I see, oh.
But what were you doing the day she passed away?
I just woke up and I heard Alexis Bill on the Super Morning Show that morning, talking about it. Really,
yeah, I was still in school though.
Yeah, and that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otable is up next. Do stay, and I am Emefa Apawu.